We're watching Sarah Jane Adventures.
We are.
We only have 2 bits left.
2 stories.
Yeah.
We had a very sort of Clydey episode.
Yes, we did.
The Mark of the Berserker.
Yeah, very dramatic, very eventful.
Yeah. Met his dad.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was...
Have we seen his mum before that episode? I'm not sure if we met his mum for the first time as well in that one. We may have seen Carla before.
Yeah,
I don't know. Can't remember.
Maybe, I don't know.
Anyway.
But yes, we've got a bit more ahead of us.
It's a really good season so far, I think.
Definitely.
Shall we continue?
Yeah, let's hope these next 2 stories are also good. We already have things warping in. Oh. Oh. Oh, it's one of these openings.
That guy walking the dog in the background like, hey!
Go through. I promise you'll be safe. No! I'm scared.
Yeah, safe isn't the first thing I think of.
When you think of time fissures.
Back in 2 ticks.
Oh, it's okay. She's going with them.
Foxgrove. That's where I live. What year is this? Please tell me the date. 1951. July 1951.
Okay. Oh no.
Did I do it properly, sir?
You did it beautifully.
Oh.
Soon, I will do battle once more with Sarah Jane.
It's the sequel.
She will return here.
Well, we'll see. Ha! Right. We've got a sequel to whatever happened. I'm gonna turn around.
Nothing much. This place used to be countryside. Right. Better close it up.
We could go through there. Into another
Yep.
time. You might never get the chance again.
Nothing more needs to be said.
Can't we just have a look?
You've travelled through time in the TARDIS.
With the doctor who knew what he was doing. Most of the time. Job done. Let's go home.
But it's never done. Ah.
I can't. I mustn't. And I won't.
More past troubles then.
You want to go back? Or why not? Just for a moment. Just to see them.
Okay. Okay.
I can't. It could be a trap.
Or a coincidence.
A trick.
No. It must be a trap. It must be out of my mind.
I mean, clearly the no has gone out the window. Maybe. I don't know. He's just going to a party across the road.
It's just a village.
Not school night either, is it?
Round the corner.
Straight back, and we won't tell anybody. This is the only way to find out who's behind it. That sounds like a good, rational reason I can give myself anyway.
Could somehow make yourself invisible, then
So, yeah, well,
no one would
that's,
have to see them.
well, that's the hurdle, isn't it? You've got to somehow make yourself invisible.
Well, I don't think that's too much of an ask in this universe.
Sure, okay, yeah.
Oh, wait. Oh, okay.
He was just there the whole time. Couldn't see him.
It's daytime.
And yeah, this is the first...
That's time travel.
No. Is it the first time travel? It's not really.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah, I guess so.
and Sarah Jane, I think
Yeah,
so.
first... Because we've seen, like, past times, but it's not like the... Like, any of the cast have actually gone
No.
back. Yeah, he's not,
Lukey boy!
I tell you, my Clydey sense is tingling.
They might have just gone out.
Or what if Sarah Jane's been grabbed?
That's a new one, I think.
Right, we'll make a list of all her enemies.
Great idea. Shouldn't take us more than 15 years.
Hmm.
Mr. Smith, I need you.
Gee, that's weird. What if it's aliens? They've been abducted. They could be being tried.
Unlikely in this show, let's face it.
Oh no, bad news.
Yep,
Tell me.
really is a sequel.
Last year some really weird stuff went down.
I really want to know the answer. You can't turn back now.
I mean, part of you must have. Here we go.
I'd say
What was
it
that?
was 600.
As if the money worked.
Oh.
Probably didn't get along.
It's a volume of the giant centimetres and then divide by the size of the street, allowing for the approximate spaces in between.
I'm Victoria Beckham.
And I'm David Beckham. Nice to meet you.
I'm Barbara.
You should be getting back soon.
I'll only be a moment.
Okay.
Meet you back at the square.
And so will he.
Come on, love your prizes, step up.
Don't want her growing up on her own. Nobody to play with. Yeah, I was doing this. Smith chips for tea, please. You probably think we're soft, Victoria. I don't. I think it's lovely.
Hocus pocus? Open sesame? Jumanji?
Oh.
Don't call me. August the 18th. It's the date they've done.
Oh, yeah. Here we go. This is the trick.
That's the car. My dad said you heard him. He parked it by the memorial. Out of action, and wherever they were going, they'd never leave.
But
It's a fixed moment in
remember,
time. We know it happened.
yeah, Luke says it.
Didn't even know. I don't know. Mine is on Peladon. All the people drinking bubble shop without a second thought. But
First thing she thought of was the monster of Peladon.
Changed it.
Yeah, interesting that.
if I do, I'll change my mind.
Oh! I see. Right. Oh my gosh. Whoa. Whoa.
It's in London. It's been destroyed.
Whoa. Oh, and yeah, the timeline's adjusting itself.
Where are we?
Greenford.
Greenford.
Oh no, not you, Mom.
Yeah.
Is it?
And oh no.
The remote's dead again.
Did you get new batteries?
No, they've been fine. They just occasionally, the remote occasionally stops working.
Oh. And it was going into an X time.
Yeah.
Whatever happened to Sarah Jane Part 2?
The Temptation of Sarah Jane Smith.
That's literally what it's called.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
What do you think?
I mean, that certainly was happening, yeah. It's an opportunity for Sarah Jane to revisit something in her past.
Yeah.
That, in a way, like, determines her existence.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
yeah.
But this
It's an origin story. Sarah Jane, origins.
I don't know if that'll be the first act. It's a classic kind of time travel story idea. What if you could go back and meet your parents?
Father's Day. We've already
Yes,
seen
I
that.
was thinking of Father's Day when watching this. It is very much a very similar story.
Yeah.
Actually, thinking about it, it's preventing their death. It is even more like Father's Day than I thought.
It is. I think Father's Day is... I think this is a slower burn in some ways because we're halfway into the story now and we've just saved them. It focuses a lot more on the decision of and the sort of morals of saving that and the could you do it, would you do it.
Yeah.
It focuses very much more on Sarah Jane's inner conflict of whether she'd be able to do that or not. Focuses on her more than it Rose in Father's Day in a lot of ways.
Yeah, like Rose preventing Pete from the accident. Yeah, that happens like pretty much straight away. Yeah, or at least after the opening scene.
Yeah.
Definitely much more about the lead up to that.
And we're taking sort of more time to explore the place that we're in. We're taking more time for Luke to sort of try and convince her not to do it and him to explore the world and find that out.
Yes, and along the way to get immersed in 1951. Yeah, so this is the first time that we've actually travelled through time. And that's definitely a very interesting thing that... Yeah, it's surprising we haven't had that yet. We haven't had some kind of time travel, and so that's a new feeling for this, is being in an older period.
Yeah.
Or even a future period. Yeah, so that was... Yeah, it was kind of refreshing to have that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Trickster.
the trickster is back, doing what the trickster does best.
Tricking.
Yeah, but yeah, and then he's talking a lot more. I don't know if it's just me, but he seems to be talking a lot more.
Yeah.
Yeah, much more, because in whatever happened, he was more so in the background. I might have talked a little bit at the end, but here it's like well, not constantly, but a lot of the time we're hearing what he's saying.
Yeah, in the last one, he's more manipulative of the people, like saying, I can stop this for you, I can swap you around, I can do this.
Yeah.
In this one, it's more, he's got a vengeance. He's come back.
He's specifically going after Sarah.
Trickster : Revengeance.
Oh my god.
No.
Yeah. Trickster Rising.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, but no, this one feels more like, I guess it is like a vengeance, but it's more so like he's done this one little thing, and it's up to Sarah Jane to fall into the trap or not.
Yeah.
That is actually a pretty interesting part of it.
And of course she has done now,
Yes.
which if she didn't, there wouldn't be a story.
No,
she tried to not do that, which is fair. I think that's expected, but and I think the consequences that we've seen, London destroyed, presumably more than just London.
Exactly. Probably the whole world.
It's more interesting to me than big dragon CGI dragons.
The Grim Reapers of the universe.
Yeah, the Reapers. I find this one a little more interesting, I think.
You know what else it's kind of like? Turn left. I've just thought of that now.
In what way?
In the way that, the change in... Well, I guess it is like Father's Day, but just the whole one little action causes everything to go completely wrong.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because obviously with Donna never meeting the Doctor, the world goes completely off the rails.
Yeah.
So, that's just something I've thought of now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Sure. All right. Should we see where it goes?
Yeah, I'd completely forgotten Graham Harper directed this.
Yes. It's it's unusual for a Graham Harper story, and then it's not. There's basically no action.
That is true.
It's a slow episode.
Yeah,
that's not a bad thing at all. I love slow TV.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with how it's made. It's just, it's not what we know as a Graham Harper story.
Yeah, and for a lot of Graham Harper stories, you could look at that and go, that's probably Graham Harper, isn't it?
Well, yeah.
This one, I don't think you'd necessarily know it.
No.
Anyway.
I completely forgotten. I just remembered now while I was waiting. Anyway.
I'm going back to 1951!
Do not.
I'm going to stop Sarah Jane from using the Sonic.
The box protected us like it protected Maria the last time the trickster appeared. When the world changed around her. And this is all that's left of London.
A quarry.
God.
Yeah, there are the clouds. Yeah, I have a feeling we might be getting a bit more action in this one. Maybe?
To the village hall, come on!
Yeah, of course. The village hall thing.
So quickly.
So how do we get back home from here?
We keep walking?
Yeah.
You just walk far enough.
Yeah, there'll be something eventually.
Oh, yes.
We'll find a doctor in here, my man.
It's... yeah.
Police box.
Yeah. I don't know how silly of a question this is, but is the TARDIS based on actual police? Like, did they literally look like that? Okay.
Yes.
Right. It wasn't just like kind of inspired by or whatever.
I don't think so.
Yeah, but it literally was. Okay. Oh.
They're slaves.
Oh.
Can Clyde tell me that's not her?
Stay back! Who's she?
Sarah Jane Smith.
What? You're not serious. She handed the world to the trickster. What exactly happened? What did she do? None of our business!
I was in spaceship. Everything up. You don't have to die.
I mean, seeing that in that moment, that's,
Agreed!
oh.
A slave. Will, open Fisher.
Yes, thank you.
Never say no to free grub.
I'm hungry now.
I'm looking for Sarah Jane Smith.
What? Well, what do you want?
Ah.
She's right there.
Probably with her son. He's a bit weird.
Oh, you mean Victoria Beckham?
What? Right. Sarah Jane, how did you get here? Long story. What did you call her then? Again. Oh, you. Oh, no, why did you call her Sarah Jane? You stopped your parents driving.
Gonna
They
happen.
never got in the car, right? It's coming through the Abbott's Gateway.
What's the Abbott's Gateway?
Over there. That's what they call that arts thing. Of course.
Ah,
The religious
wow.
site. However,
Right in front of their
Lucas.
eyes. Whole time.
There's nothing specific.
I love she's just there watching this like, what is going
My mum told me. Sarah Jane. Why did you call her Sarah Jane?
on?
Away from us!
I didn't want it to be like this.
Well, she didn't know? I don't know if she didn't know.
What the heck's going on? It's rotten.
More than that.
What's happening?
Oh,
Everything we touch turns bad. Something's wrong with us.
now I'm a part of it.
Consume this world in chaos.
No, the effect is weird, like the duplicating.
Use the sonic. Repair the car.
And send your parents to
Oh yeah, you. I was thinking they're gonna like get all the tools and stuff to repair it. No, you could just just use the sonic whip.
That Indian girl. It does, if you think about Victoria, who she really is. That girl, she called her Sarah Jane.
Well,
too late. I'm growing stronger.
If we get in the car and drive away right now, then that's the end of that thing under the arch. I know I'm right. You can't. You're not our baby. Tell
oh,
her.
yeah.
Abandon you, Mum. They saved you.
Goodbye, Sarah Jane. Goodbye, Sarah Jane.
Nah.
It was my mum and dad saving the world. Something we Smiths can't help doing.
But you.
This is it.
Yep. Whoa! What?
I'm seeing something on it.
Oh, yeah. The few.
This time, it stays closed.
Today I've been to an alternative timeline and now I'm saying I'll be off home.
That's the life we lead.
Sometimes it brings you such.
I don't need to say anything. Like,
Sometimes it brings you the worst things in the world.
sometimes it brings you a headache. One last thing on top of all things.
Brilliant last shot, isn't it?
It is. It is. Absolutely.
That was, they had a yes moment when they thought of that one.
My head hurts.
You're right.
I will be, because I'm trying to comprehend the way it all is.
Action would have ruined it.
There wasn't much action.
There was nothing.
I mean, well, in one sense, there was.
Bit of a storm.
Action isn't necessarily people punching each other.
I know. I mean the Graham Harper type action that we know.
Oh, no. But you know what? It still was action. So in a way, yeah. And it was really, really headache-inducing time things. So yeah, that's the answer then. They died because Sarah Jane went back in time.
Yes.
And they left her the baby because Sarah Jane travelled. Oh.
It's very similar to Father's Day, because like in Father's Day, he
it's
works
pretty
it
much
out and he jumps in front of the car.
Yeah.
And here they go off in the car.
This is like the Father's Day adaptation for Sarah Jane.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Except one thing I like about this is that it's not all just sad emotion, sad.
Not all.
No.
Yeah, towards the end it does get very
Yeah.
very emotional. But yes, the whole thing isn't that. There's more to it.
And even at the end there, it leaves room for Clyde, hugging the grass and that.
Yeah.
It still balances very nicely, I think.
Yes, it's a balance, not just this one thing. Yeah. Father's Day, it could feel a bit overbearing, whereas this, not as much.
Not as much, and I think that makes it more emotional in a lot of ways. And Sarah Jane Liz Sladen just so amazing.
Yeah, it still continues to be. Yeah. Obviously, it is very thrilling to watch it all play out.
Yeah, because we're so invested in Sarah Jane as well
that we believe it. Yeah,
that we believe it, and it really hits hard and more because like she says, she's never said any of this information to the doctor.
No.
It's always been we know Aunt Lavinia. We know we had Canine and Company. We know that Aunt Lavinia was off loads, but so I think knowing that there's that and already having that to build on really helps as well.
Of course. Barbara and Eddie, that's their names. Yeah, it's interesting that they worked it out. I don't know if it's just me. I don't know if it's how I was following it, but I'm not 100% certain how they came to the conclusion.
Right, okay. Yeah, sure. Well, they sort of... Wait, I think it was Rani coming along saying she's Sarah Jane.
Yeah, she was saying stuff about Sarah Jane, but... Yeah, and then Barbara did say, I thought I recognised her. Okay.
There's all this weird things going on.
Sure, okay, but...
Yes, yeah, perhaps it's a... They do work out the whole... If we drive off in the car, then this thing will... They work out that... But again, Sarah Jane says, I stopped them or something, and she overhears it. But yes, I do know what you mean. It's not... Unless you're really focusing on where everyone is in the scene and really focusing hard, you might not necessarily sort of pick up that, they're very, very attentive people. And like she says, they're very, very clever to be able to work that out.
Sure.
But I think they just are, It's just where Sarah Jane gets it from.
That, what? That would make sense. As
she says, something we Smiths can't help doing.
I thought she's just said that because they ended up making that decision in the first place to drive off.
But also, I think part of it is that they did work it out. Right. And she would work it out. It's not too dissimilar to how she would work out things like that.
Well, they kept talking about, Lavinia is like the brain of Britain, so, you can
all of them.
Suggest
well,
that.
Yeah.
Yeah. But they specifically point her out, so you might come to the conclusion that Sarah Jane got her smarts from Lavinia, maybe.
Some of it, I'm sure, as well, yeah. Was Lavinia a journalist as well? I can't remember.
Well, in the Time Warriors, she was meant to be in Sarah Jane's place.
Yes, so, you're right, she must be.
Like Turn Left, we got a peek into an alternate dimension in which, again, things just went, completely haywire. To the point where they... So, was that group there? They were all the last people.
That's what
it was only a dozen.
That's what Rani's mum said, yeah.
Right. Yeah, that is... I mean, they don't even show much of it, and yet there's so much you can think about there.
It's such a low-budget show, in a lot of ways.
And now you say it, it's like, there's only a few locations in there.
There's a few minimal locations, all of the historical stuff is... BBC probably just had that lying around. Let's dig up Foxgrove, bring it out for a Sarah Jane Adventures.
Yeah, that's no
minimal
problem.
Effects. You got the time figure. There's one CGI there. Bit of fading on the trickster.
Yeah,
the costumes are very cheap.
Weird. Yeah,
but, it's not an expensive program, especially not compared to stuff.
I've never really thought about the budget of Sarah Jane Adventures.
It really can't be a lot. It really can't. And the last one as well. A couple of locations. A bit of makeup.
But they use the locations...
A plastic silver thing.
Yeah, but they use the locations well enough that it's...
Precisely.
That you just don't think about it.
Precisely.
Yeah. Yeah, the fact that it's taken us this long to talk about budget stuff.
Yeah, I just thought this was an apt moment to point it out because it's probably the most impressive looking one so far, possibly. I think it looks great. Obviously, all the historical stuff, in Sarah Jane.
Yeah.
I just thought it'd be worth mentioning that, you know, it's so impressive that they do all this stuff on what can only be very little. Yeah, as Doctor Who was always as well, and probably continues to be.
Sure.
Just feels like this is even a lot less. Well, it doesn't feel like that, but it probably is when you think about it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, because the stories are smaller, they don't need to. You know, they don't need the biggest budget.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. All they need is enough for the trickster, enough for the 1950s.
Yes.
Find a quarry somewhere.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's all. Yeah.
And I feel like the message of this as well is probably a little better for the audience that it was going for as well than Father's Day. Because this, you really get a sense of, you know, you're trying to tell kids, you know, appreciate your parents. You know,
sure.
It's sort of
sure.
Getting that message, you know, being lucky to have one, you know, as Luke says.
Yeah.
I'm sure a lot of people would relate to that as well. Whereas in Father's Day, I know we're comparing it to Father's Day a lot.
Well, no, I think they are very similar.
But in Father's Day, I never got the sense of having a message like that.
It was just, well...
It was just,
the message.
We're supposed to get some background on Rose and her dad and cry for a bit, and then we can bring it up later again in the finale.
Well, I think Father's Day was mostly about that whole time travel concept of, you know, not changing things, otherwise there'll be, like, bad consequences, you know, that sort of idea, which
I don't think
is
it's
also
about
here.
that.
Well, I mean, it has... Well, I mean, it is, because that's what happens, isn't it?
Yes, but that's a plot device for the character development, introduction of Pete and Rose, ultimately.
Yeah.
That's all that's there for,
Well,
really.
It's something you kind of take in the background. It's something that you get the idea of anyway.
Yeah.
But yeah, I know more like you're thinking about like what is the actual message.
Yeah, what's the
What
point?
do they want to communicate? Whereas yes, Father's Day is more so like that. Yeah, it's terrible that we can't, you know, save people otherwise, you know, in that situation. Whereas yeah, this is much more so about like appreciate your parents, you know, and all that. Yeah. Okay.
So yes, I think for me, I do prefer this to Father's Day.
I'd say
a little bit.
I would say that I do as well. Yeah. I mean, this is one that I would feel more likely to like watch again.
Okay.
Because yeah, Father's Day. Yeah, the thing about Father's Day is that a lot of it was just kind of focusing on like the sadness, you know, and that's which obviously, you know, given the situation that's gonna happen, you know,
You're gonna have some of
I'd be concerned if no one was upset, but it's not. Yeah, it's not really something that. Like this is more, this has more of an entertainment.
I think it does. I think it does.
Yeah, it's almost like you might be able to say the same thing about Father's Day as well, but this would be like a good kind of introduction to the whole time travel like idea and all that.
Possibly, yeah. Well, it kind of is for the Sarah Jane Adventures.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, as well. Even though I thought I had it. Is that a green 7?
That's a green 7.
Remind me.
Uncertain.
Uncertain.
Yeah, I'm not too sure, because I do like it. But at the same time, I can't help but feel like I slightly prefer it to Father's Day, but I feel like hypocritical giving this a higher score than Father's Day, because they're very similar.
Well,
but at the same time, like, I just enjoy it more. I think it's the characters, I think it's the storytelling style, I think it's... But even though it is so similar, I think it's different enough in all the right places for me.
You said basically what I was going to say. Yeah. It's got more going on, and it handles the idea in a way that's actually like kind of leaves you with something.
I think that's fair.
Yeah, I think even though I did, there were some things about it that I wasn't. Yeah, even though there were some things about it that I wasn't 100% sure on, I still like the episode. I mean, I'm sure enough to not give it a green, but I think ultimately the good of the episode comes through.
I think on any other day I could have given it higher. I think on another day I could have given it lower as well. I think, basically. All right, next one left.
Yeah, we're already at the end. Yeah, it feels like we barely just started it, and now we're at the end.
It does.
Yeah, well, we'll see you for that.
Outro.